اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أطلق القاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق وهذه إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره مقدار العظيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. الحمد لله رب العالمين. أفضل الصلاة وتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. ورضي الله تعالى عن السادة التابعين وعلماء عاملين وأئمة أربعين مجتهدين مقلديهم إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. الحمد لله رب العالمين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Everyone who is watching on YouTube, please like, share the video, and subscribe to the channels. Hit the notification bell. Everyone who's watching on Facebook, please like and share the video so that we can keep the Facebook and YouTube algorithm going. Tonight, it's another recording, another class of Umdat'l Bayaan, and the section that we're on tonight is on the times of prayer, right? And we're going to go into the prayer. Inshallah ta'ala, I'm going to try to do this in 2 classes. So the class may be a little bit short tonight, inshallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is a Waqtul Muqtar, the selected times. Waqtul Muqtar of the Dhuhr prayer is from the time of the sun reaches the meridian until the time when the shadow is equal to the length of an object. Now, Amir Khalil here did a video a few Jummahs back. He did a video two Jummahs in a row where he showed the description of how the shadow looks at Dhuhr time and how the shadow will look at Asr time. All right, so the select time of the Asr prayer is from the time when the shadow is twice the length of an object to the yellowing of the sun, right? So the necessary time, waqtul dururi, for both of them is up to the time of sunset. Now, what is meant by here, the waqtul dururi, meaning that the time that you can pray, the Dhuhr prayer and the Asr prayer, before it becomes qada, a missed prayer. The qada is a missed prayer, right? And if Maghrib time comes in and you haven't prayed Dhuhr and Asr, then it's qada, okay? This is the select time. The select time of the Maghrib prayer is the amount of time in which it takes, in which it can be prayed after its conditions are fulfilled, right? So the time for the Maghrib prayer is a short period. It's enough time where you can recite 50 ayats in each rak'ah, in the first 2 rak'ahs. The selected time for the Isha prayer is from the time when the twilight disappears until the first third of the night, right? So the Waqtul Muqtar prayer of Isha is when the twilight disappears. Now, when Maghrib is in, like I said, Maghrib is for a short time. So as soon as the twilight disappears, then Isha is in. You look at the sky is pitch black. If you used to look at the horizon, you'll see that the twilight has disappeared. Now, on the prayer schedules, to mind you, the prayer schedules that we use, they are calculated time. So if you look at the time on some schedules for Isha, it's like a later time. It's real late, right? And I think that's the the Hanafi time. And then you have a time that is early, and I think that's the Shafi'i time. However, Isha is clearly in when both of these has clearly been in for some minutes, maybe 20 minutes before these actual times on the prayer schedule or on your Muslim Pro app of the time shows that the time for Isha is in. So when the sky is completely dark, right? Then you have certainty that Isha is in. And to the first third of the night is the time that you could pray it. Now the Muqtar, the walks of Dururi time that for Maghrib and Isha is when soup comes in, right? So if you haven't prayed Maghrib and Isha and Salatul Soup comes in, then Maghrib and Isha is considered a qada. You have to make them up. It's a make-up prayer. All right, the necessary time of the prayer is up until the appearance of dawn, to the appearance of soup. The select time for the soup prayer is from the first light of dawn up until the glow. All right. Uh, so its necessary time is up until the rising of the sun. And all the above, you have to make up prayers. What is outside of that? So when soup is in and the sun begins to rise, right? So when you see the sun, the tip of it is over the horizon. Now the one thing about soup, you have a true dawn and you have the false dawn, right? Here in America, many of us will not be able to actually witness a false dawn, right? But in like places where there's like the land is strictly flat, like in parts of the Sahara Desert or parts of the Muslim land in Arabia, you may see that you may get the opportunity to see it. The reason why we're not able to see it, a true dawn, a false dawn here, is because we have a series of lights all over. So you won't be able to really actually like see it. But what happens is that the false dawn, if you see it, you'll see a light, right? Like the sun is about to rise, right? You'll see a light, a white light, and it's only for like maybe um, 60, 60 or 100 or 60 or 100 and 120 seconds, and then it disappears. That was the false dawn, right? And then shortly after that, like maybe 30 minutes or 30 minutes to an hour, then you will see the true dawn. You see the next light, right? And then you know that dawn is in. Says the conditions of the prayer. Also, a side note, uh, Sheikh Uthman Danfodio Taqaddam bi rahmati Ameen says in his Kitab or Ulum Mu'amalat, it will be seen from what has preceded that the times for the prayer is divided into two parts. The beginning time, the beginning of the time, when it is the best time to do the prayer, and a later time when it's essential that the prayer be prayed to avoid missing the time altogether. Whoever delays a prayer until the later time without any excuse has committed a sin, committed a wrong deed. A valid excuse is something like mens locia, apostasy, insanity, fainting, sleep, not reaching puberty, or forgetfulness. Just wanted to make that side note, right? The conditions of prayer. The conditions of prayer are One, purification from ritual impurity and filth from the body, the garment, and the place of the prayer, the place where you're going to pray at. Covering the private parts, facing the direction of the Qibla, avoid speaking, and avoid frequent unnecessary movement, right? So with the conditions of the prayer, the avoiding frequent unnecessary movement is that when the individual is in the prayer, if an individual is praying and it does not look like the individual is praying, look like this person is praying, then the prayer is invalid, right? Because it doesn't appear like he's praying. Unnecessary movement, um, to the point where it doesn't look like you're praying. Now to continue, the private parts, awrat, of the man, the slave girl, and a free woman around other women are what lie between the navel and the knees, right? Um, the judgment of the free woman's covering, the private parts of the free woman around strange men, Nabiyu, is her entire body except the hands and face. The private part of the woman, the private part of the woman with her male relatives that she is forbidden to marry, is the entire body except the face and the extremities at the Roth, like the head, the arms, the legs, and the feet. So around non-marriageable kin, around mahrams, people who are forbidden for the woman to marry, she could wear um, like a outer garment or overgarment to where she would, or a short sleeve shirt, right? A short sleeve shirt, or uh, a garment that they can see her ankles and her feet around mahram family members, but around non-mahram family members like cousins, she has to fully cover. The judgment of the man around other men and male relatives and the slave girl. What can be seen from a strange man, ajnabi, is the same as what can be seen from a mahram. What can be seen by male mahram is the same as other men. That is the entire body except what lies between the navel and the knees. The slave girl, Amat, is not required to cover her head. It is customary for a free woman to uncover her chest and extremities at certain times, just as a slave girl can uncover her thighs when the place is free of the presence of men. Now, one of the signs of indications that a woman is a free woman is that she covers her head. And one of the signs, the indication of a woman that may be a slave, servant girl, slave, is that she doesn't cover her head, right? So it is highly recommended. Uh, it's the haba for the wallet and a young girl to cover themselves, and it is obligatory for the free woman who has attained maturity. The side note, the wallet is the mother of a child born to their slave master, and the child inherits all of the same rights that any other child would have been born to a free man. All right, so I'm gonna go into the obligations of the prayer and its sunnah. As for the obligations of the prayer, fara'id as-salah, the fara'id as-salah, there are 15, right? One is the intentions for a specific prayer, the intention of the follower to be a follower in the prayer, right? 2, 3, takbir ihram. 4, standing upright. Uh, and the takbir ihram is to say the takbir ihram, Allahu Akbar. It's not necessarily raising the hands. If an individual raises their hands and don't say Allahu Akbar, then they still haven't entered the prayer, right? According to the Maliki school, if you say Allahu Akbar, you say Takbir Ihram, you enter the prayer, even if you don't raise the hands. To stand upright for it, recitation of the Al-Fatiha, uh, standing upright for it. 7, bowing and ruku. 8, rising from it. 9, prostration, sujood upon the forehead. 10, rising up for it. 11, having harmony, meaning khushu', stillness in each position, right? Stillness is 12, maintaining the order of its obligations. 13, sitting as long as it takes to perform the greeting. And 15, the ending salam. A side note, Ahmed Zarruq said in his Ahmed Zarruq said in his commentary upon the Risala of Imam Ibn Abi Zayd Qarwani, he said the learned person of Medina said regarding the grasping of hands for support that there is disagreement whether or not it was actually a part of the outward aspects of the prayer, right? Imam Ahmed Ad-Dirdiri said in his Aqrab al-Masalik, it is allowable to grasp the hands during supererogatory prayers, meaning the nawafil, and it is reprehensible to grasp the hands during an obligatory prayer, a farder prayer, especially for reasons of support. Returning back to Ahmed Zarruq in his commentary upon the Risala, the one praying is not to place the right hand over his left in the obligatory prayer, although that is allowable in the supererogatory prayer, in order to support oneself in standing due to the length that one stands in the prayer. As for the Sunnah of the prayer, there are 12, right? 1, the extra chapter after Al-Fatiha. 2, standing upright for it. 3, saying silent what is supposed to be said silent. Saying aloud what is to be said aloud. Every takbir is a sunnah except the takbir ihram, which is an obligation, as mentioned previously. 6, saying Allah hears the one who praises Him, for the one who is the Imam, and the one praying alone. The first 7, the first sitting. And the one praying alone. The first 7 is the first sitting. The eighth is extending the second sitting long enough to perform the greeting. And 9, the two tashahuds. 10, returning the greetings to the Imam and to the one on your left side. Saying the final salam out loud. It's 11. And 12, the barrier of the Imam and the one praying alone when they fear that someone will pass in front of them, meaning the sutra, right? The barrier for the Imam. The Imam who's ever leading should have a sutra. But the sutra for the one who's praying behind the Imam is the sutra, right? As far as number 10, returning the greeting to the Imam and to the one on the left side, there's the usul and relates to returning the greeting to the Imam when we salam out and in the prayer. We salam by slightly turning our head to the right and say assalamu alaikum and say it correctly, not sa alaikum or assalamu alaikum, not like that, not saying it like that, saying it correctly, assalamu alaikum. And if you're praying behind the Imam, you will say that to the Imam silently. And if someone is on your left, even, you know what I'm saying, if they prayed one rak'ah, they entered the prayer and they prayed one rak'ah, then you salam them. You salam on your left. If they ended the prayer with you, if they ended the prayer with you, you salam to them on your left because they salamed on their right to you. But if they entered enter the prayer and they prayed one rak'ah, then they would have to finish the prayer after salam after the prayer is finished. What invalidates the prayer? What invalidates the prayer? The prayer is invalid by 1, laughing deliberately or by accident, or 2, by doing a prostration of forgetfulness for merit, 3, by deliberately adding a rak'at, 3, a prostration or the like in the prayer, 4, by eating, 5, drinking, or 6, speaking deliberately except to correct the prayer. Saying a lot instead of a little invalidates it in this case. Right? It is invalidated by 7, blowing the nose deliberately, 8, ritual impurity, remembering a missed prayer, intentionally vomiting is 10, 11, by doing more than 4 rak'ats accidentally in the 4 rak'at prayer, more than 3 rak'at accidentally in the 3 rak'at prayer, and more than 2 rak'at accidentally in a 2 rak'at prayer. 12, by accidentally prostrating before the Imam, before or after, if he does not catch the rak'at. And 13, by leaving out the prostration of forgetfulness, if it is leaving out 3 or more, if it is leaving out 3 or more sunnahs. Making up missed prayers. It is obligatory for every responsible person to make up for objectable things from the prayer, and he should make them up in the order that they are missed. If they were prayers while resident, he should perform them as resident prayers. If they were traveling prayers, then he should perform them as traveling prayers. This is regardless of if he performs the missed prayer being a resident or while traveling. The maintaining of the correct order Tajdid of 2 current prayers that are due at the same time is an obligation. All right? So, likewise, maintaining the correct order between small amounts of missed prayers and the current prayer is obligatory when it is remembered. So, for example, like I said, you missed Dhur, you didn't pray Asr, and Maghrib comes in. So Dhur and Asr are makeup prayers, right? So you pray them. You pray them prayers, the mixed prayers before you pray Maghrib. If you pray Maghrib first and then you haven't prayed Dhuhr and Asr, then the Maghrib is invalid. If you missed Subh, Dhuhr, and Asr and Maghrib is in, then you will pray Maghrib first and then pray what you missed in the order, in the Tortatib that it goes. You pray Subh, then pray Dhuhr, then pray Asr. All right? Likewise, okay, a small quantity, Yasir means 4 prayers or less. Thus, whoever has to make up 4 prayers or less must pray them in order before the current prayer. If the time of the current prayer, even if the time of the current prayer passes, right? The prostration of forgetfulness. He prostrates 2 prostrations. Before the salam, if he left out a confirmed sunnah, and he makes the tashahhud for them, and then the salam. If he has added something, he prostrates after the salam. If he has left something out and added something, he prostrates before the salam, because decrease dominates increase. There are 3 levels of forgetfulness in the prayer. Sometimes he forgets and miss out one of the obligations of the prayer. The prostration of forgetfulness is necessary, and he must do it. If he does not remember it until after the salam, and a long period of time passes, his prayer is invalid, and he must repeat it. 2, sometimes he forgets. He is forgetful. Sometimes he is forgetful and misses out one of the meritorious parts of the prayer, like the kunut, or the saying of Sami Allahu liman hamida, my Lord, to you the praise. All right, Sami Allahu liman hamida. Allah hears those who praises him. A single takbir or the like, he does not prostrate for that. If he prostrates before the salam, he invalidates his prayer and must repeat it. Sometimes he forgets one of the sunnah of the prayer, like the extra chapter after the Fatiha, the 2 tashahhuds, the sitting, or the like. He should make prostration for that before the salam. The prostration after the salam is not missed out through the prostration after the salam is not missed out through forgetfulness, even after a year has passed. If he puts the prostration after the salam before, or delay the prostration before the salam, it is permitted. If he does not know whether he has prayed 3 or 2 rakats, he should build up the least of it and do what he has doubt about and prostrate after the salam. The prerequisites of the imam and the reality of catching the rakat with him, and the judgment of standing immediately with the takbir after the salam of the imam. After this portion, then I'm gonna stop here, and then next week continue with the Jumu'ah prayer. The prerequisites of the imam are 5. That he be male. 1 is 1. 2, that he's Muslim. 3 is that he has aql, he has rational thought. 4, that he's just, and 5, that he's mature. He should be knowledgeable of what makes the prayer valid. To catch a rakat with the imam means that you were able to place your hands firmly upon your knees along with the imam. In the event you were unable to place your hands on your knees, then you have missed the particular rakat. mean, if you catch the rakat with the imam, is that if you catch the ruku, then you have caught the rakat with the imam, right? If you did not catch the ruku, then you missed that particular rakat. You come in and they going into sajda, then you missed it. If you miss a single rakat from the suit prayer, you should stand without doing the takbir. You should stand without doing the takbir. You should continue the prayer with the Quran al-Fatiha and the extra chapter aloud without doing the kunut. If you missed a single rakat from the Dhuhr prayer, you should stand without doing the takbir. You should then complete the prayer with the Quran and the extra chapter silently. If you miss two rakats from the same prayer, you should then stand with the takbir. You should then complete the prayer with the Quran and the extra chapter silently. You should not sit between the two rakats. If you miss three rakats from the same prayer, then you should stand without the takbir. You should then complete the prayer with the first rakat with the Quran and the extra chapter silently. Then sit and make the first tashahhud. Then stand and perform a rakat with the Quran and the extra chapter silently, but do not sit. Then stand and perform a rakat with the Quran only. The judgment of the Asr prayer is exactly the same as the judgment of the Dhuhr prayer, as we have mentioned. If you miss the rakat from the Maghrib prayer, then you should stand with the takbir. You should then complete the prayer with the Quran and the extra chapter aloud. If you miss two rakats from the same prayer, you should then stand without making a takbir. Then complete the prayer with the Quran and the extra chapter in both rakats and sit between them. Wa alaikum salam, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum salam. And sit between them. Thus, your entire prayer will be done sitting at the end of each rakat. If you missed a single rakat from the Isha prayer, then you should stand without making a takbir. You should then complete the prayer with the Quran and the extra chapter out loud. Then sit down. If you miss two rakats from the same prayer, you should then stand with the takbir. You should then complete the prayer with the Quran and the extra chapter aloud in both rakats. You should not sit between them. If you miss three rakats from the same prayer, then stand without making the takbir, and then complete the prayer of one rakat with the Quran and the extra chapter out loud. You should then sit down after it and perform the first tashahhud. You should then stand and perform another rakat with the Quran and the extra chapter aloud, and do not sit after it. Rather, you should stand and perform another rakat with the first, with just the Quran silently, if you have not caught anything of the prayer except the last tashahhud. Then stand with the takbir and perform your prayer as though you are doing it from the very beginning. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin wa salatu wassalamu ala rasulika Ameen. Next week, inshallah, I'm going to continue with the Jumu'ah prayer and get into the obligations of fasting and its sunnahs. So next week could be, I think this is the 4th week of doing the class. So next week will be the 5th week. So next week we complete the Jumu'ah prayer with the Jumu'ah check section on the Jumu'ah prayer, and then go into the obligations of fasting and the sunnah and the obligations of zakat and its adab, and the obligations of hajj and the sunnah, until we complete the portion of Ilm al-Fiqh. Right? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Everyone have a good evening. Remember, like and share the video. Hit the subscribe to the channels. Hit the notification bell. Share the video to your page, to other groups that you're in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.